How much does it cost to live and work in Dubai? In this video, I will discuss the basic monthly expenses and break down the items you will spend on if you are planning to come to this city and become an expat. This is an honest and practical guide to the real cost of living for entry-level expats in Dubai. Hi everyone, my name is Ed of Dubai OFW, and one of the more popular topics my readers would like to know is how much money do you really need to live and work in Dubai? Now, Dubai has been known to be a place of luxury, and with this comes with the misconception that everyone who lives here are rich, because it's totally not true. So we will discuss what are the basic monthly expenses as well as the cost of living in this emirate. This video is targeted towards entry-level expats who come to Dubai in the hope of finding a good job that pays well so that they can support their families back in their home countries. If you are an expat who plans to bring your family to Dubai, this will be a different set of monthly expenses. My focus for now is to understand the essential costs for single expats who are still starting a career in another country. I hope that this video will help enlighten those who have plans to come here to understand what are the expenses so that you can also manage your expected salaries before agreeing to a job offer presented to you. While money may be subjective to your lifestyle, it is important to know what are the basic necessities in order to survive, and more importantly, how much is your take-home pay every month so you can budget for your savings and also for the money that you send to your family back in your home country. First things first, let's talk about accommodation. If you're starting out and accommodation is not provided to you by your employer, you will need to find a place to live. Where to find these accommodations? Popular classifieds websites like dubizzle.com and bayut.com is where you can easily look for these places. The cheapest type of accommodation is called a bed space, which is a bunk bed which you can rent for a month. You need to allot a minimum cost of about 800 dirhams for this monthly rent. A bed space involves a double-deck bed, and there will be two of you sharing. You will be sharing this space with at least 4 to 8 other people inside a room. Think of it like a dormitory in school. A bed space accommodation worth 800 dirhams can be found in older community areas in Dubai, which include Al Riga, Bur Dubai, Al Satwa, or Karama. If you're going to look for a bed space near the city, like downtown Dubai, Sheikh Zayed Road, or Dubai Marina, the bed space may cost you around 1,200 dirhams. If you want to stay in a bigger setup to have more privacy and convenience, costs will be higher. One example is getting a partition, which is a division inside a room all to yourself. It will be more expensive if you rent an entire room or even an entire flat. As a tip though, it is best that you find an accommodation that is near your place of work for easier access and transportation. Next basic need is food. The average cost of food is around 900 dirhams per month. This is based on a computation of 15 dirhams average for a budget meal where you eat 2 times a day. You will definitely spend more if you eat in restaurants, in malls, or when you eat outside. But as we are talking about the basic expenses only, this 900 dirhams is already a modest figure. To help you save costs on food, you can do your own groceries, so you can cook your own food and bring a packed lunch as well as snacks to your place of work. Next up is transportation. Let's allot a budget of 270 dirhams for this. In big companies and hotels, usually transportation is free and provided by the company in the form of private shuttle buses that would take you to and from your accommodation and work during specific schedules. But if it's not provided by your company, you will have to pay for your own transportation expense. Taxi rides will cost you a minimum of 12 dirhams per way, so the best option is taking public transport. What's great about the transportation in Dubai is that they are very well maintained and comfortable. Taking the Dubai Metro will cost about 3 dirhams to 7.50 dirhams per way, depending on the zone or area you are planning to travel. You will need to use a null card in order to access the public transport, and you can get one in the nearest Dubai metro station. Another thing to note is that the public transport system in Dubai is centralized. So let's say if you have a daily commute to work which involves a bus, a metro train, and another bus, it is considered one way, provided that you shift between each mode of transport within, I believe, 30 minutes. But yeah, let me clarify that later on. In order to save money, it will be cheaper if you get an unlimited pass where you can travel to all accessible metros and buses for a flat rate fee of 270 dirhams per month. Next up is DEWA, or the electricity and water expenses. Let's allot a budget of 200 dirhams for this. Electricity and water bills for a single person renting a bed space will roughly cost 200 dirhams. It can be less or more, as the total electricity and water expense is divided according to the number of people living inside that apartment. Sometimes you can get a package deal with your landlord where DEWA is free regardless of how much electricity or water you consume. Next up is mobile phone bill and Wi-Fi. Let's allot a budget of 50 dirhams, the most basic package for this, because usually internet is provided together with your accommodation and comes as a freebie. Also, expats are not big on texting, as there is free Wi-Fi in public areas, such as malls and restaurants. However, the UAE has currently banned the use of VoIP services like WhatsApp calls and Skype calls. Even if you have Wi-Fi, you will not be able to call your contacts. You need to pay for VoIP services so you can contact your family back in your home country. The cheapest and most basic monthly package for a VoIP service is 50 dirhams via a mobile app called Botim or Simi. These services are provided by the UAE telecom providers called Etisalat or Du. So we're giving a budget of 50 dirhams for mobile phone charges every month. Next up is grocery for your toiletries and maintenance. Let's allot 100 dirhams for this. After all, you have to spend for your maintenance and you need to buy your toiletries every month. So for soap, shampoo, detergents for your clothes, etc., let's allot 100 dirhams for this. Another important point is health insurance. It is mandatory that you have health insurance in Dubai, but you shouldn't worry too much about this because this should be provided by your sponsor or your employer. They usually provide you a basic health insurance, but most basic health insurances do not include dental costs and other important costs. So if you wish to have more coverage, you might need to purchase a separate premium from a different provider. On another note, we have 3 items we need to discuss, which may not be basic, but are still very important expenses, especially to a lot of OFWs and expats. These are mainly personal savings, monthly remittance, and expenses for leisure and hobbies. Savings. Let's allot 300 dirhams for this. The amount is still a variable, but should always be included in your monthly expenses. Try to allot a minimum of 20% of your salary for savings. After all, you're not going to be an expat in the UAE forever, and we will all become old and eventually go back to our home countries. Savings should be a priority so that we can have a backup and funding for our retirement. This can be in the form of your social security system pension or a private insurance that you applied for. Again, 300 dirhams is very basic and it really should be more. Next is the monthly remittance. We left our home countries in search for better opportunities abroad, so it's very important that you find a job that pays a decent salary so you can send money to your family back home. I leave this up to you how much you need to allot, as this is dependent on your situation. But for this video's sake, let's say you send 500 dirhams a month, but it should be ideally more, especially if you have a big family. Next is expenses for leisure. As your routine normally revolves around the house to office, you will eventually develop a lifestyle, especially when you're living abroad and you're all by yourself. This includes what you spend on your free time, whether you hang out with friends, go to the gym, travel to other places, or just develop other skills. This is also dependent on your interests and hobbies. For a gym membership, a cheap monthly fee is around 150 dirhams in your local gym. If you're lucky, a gym facility and maybe even a swimming pool is provided as a freebie in your accommodation. Otherwise, you can allot a budget of 150 dirhams for hobbies and leisure. Take note that this 150 dirhams is very small. Just to give you an idea, if you eat in a mid-range restaurant in a mall, for two people, you might spend around 150 dirhams or even more for one meal. So yeah, but it's good if your hobbies will not include you to spend much. However, it's really important that you have some me or fun and social life to help you keep your sanity intact at the end of the day. Homesickness as well as mental health are real and serious issues you will face at some point in your expat life. Tallying everything again, the amount you will need just to survive in Dubai is around 2,320 dirhams. If you add the last three important items, such as the savings, monthly remittance, and expenses for leisure, the total cost is 3,270 dirhams. This is still a modest figure because again, you are living in a bed space accommodation. And if you want some more privacy and convenience, you really need to pay more. Also, you're not eating 3 times a day with this budget. And the money that you send home is limited to 500 dirhams. In my experience, I've had colleagues who are sending at least 1,000 dirhams as their monthly remittance. If you're an expat moving to Dubai with your family, definitely your expenses will be more, as you're going to spend for education and basic necessities for your family. Or if you plan to have a car, you will need to pay for petrol and maintenance. This will be another list of expenses for another video. Dubai may often express itself in media as a place of luxury and wealth, and sometimes salaries are also exaggerated. There is also a common misconception, especially for OFWs, that when you work overseas, you're already making big money, which is totally wrong. If you come here with less to zero work experience, you will most likely start from the bottom and build your way up your career ladder. So please, before accepting any job offer, make sure that you have enough take-home pay for yourself and for your family back home. Do not just agree to take any job without considering these expenses. Take note that the salary varies on your position and the industry where you will be working. I will be creating another video about monthly salary expectations soon. I hope that this honest and practical guide I presented will give you a better idea about the actual monthly expenses so you can manage your salary expectations when looking for work opportunities. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, as well as click the bell icon so you can get notifications whenever there's new content uploaded. If you have any suggested topics, please leave a comment down below. You may also visit DubaiOFW.com for more news and tips. Have a good day.